This is DJ Drew talking with local music legend Jimi Haha of Jimmy's Chicken Shack and the Jar Flies. Jimmy, thank you for talking to WMUC today.
Right on, thanks for having me.
Awesome. How you doing today?
I'm good.
Good. Now, this area, we all know you as the local kid from Annapolis who made it big. And, of course, you never forgot your roots here in Maryland, and you'd always come back. You play HF festivals and DC 101 Chili Cook-Off, and we all remember you crowd surfing with the dreadlocks and everything. You ever thought about bringing back the dreads?
Too much work. It's a stage.
All right, that's cool. I completely understand that. All right, now, the big show that you've got coming up is Tuesday, December 2nd. It's called Songs and Stories. It's an evening with Art Alexakis from Everclear and, of course, yourself.
Yeah.
It's at Baltimore Soundstage. Have you ever worked with Art before?
Yeah, I wrote a song with Art that was on, it's called Leech, which is on our Represent record. Actually, they played, first time we played with them was right when their first record came out. It was before we were signed. We played with them and Sponge. I think it was at Graffiti's or something up at the Donny Station, and then we actually ended up touring with them quite a few times over the years. With their, a couple of their records, and once we were signed and stuff, we would tour around the country with them. So I went to his wedding, and I don't know. Yeah, we've always stayed in touch. I didn't know he was playing the show though, so that was kind of cool. And it's my birthday.
Oh, cool. Well, happy birthday.
Yeah, so it'll be a fun birthday show.
Yeah, definitely. So, in addition to us singing you happy birthday, is there anything else we should expect from this show?
I think it's best to have no expectations. I have no idea what I'm going to do.
I see how it is. You're just giving us a little tease, and we'll have to come out.
You can expect some bad jokes and silly songs and sad that kind of thing.
Now, Jimmy, I mentioned before that you guys play a lot of the big local shows, HF festivals, Chili Cook-Off. Now, I got to tell you, my first show that I went to see was a Jimmy's Chicken Shack show. You guys had Laughing Colors opening for you. And this must have been back in 2000, 2001, probably even earlier. Do you remember the first show that you ever went to?
Yeah, absolutely. It was Black Sabbath.
Nice.
Album released 10 years after at the Capitol Center. I think I was 12 years old, and it was their Mob Rules album, the one right after Heaven and Hell, and yeah, it was pretty tight.
Yeah, that's definitely not a bad show to pop your cherry with. I mean, Black Sabbath, those guys are legends. And of course, talking to the local music legend himself, Jimi Haha. Now, who are your biggest musical influences?
I don't know, man. Pretty much everything I've ever come across with, I think. It's like, it's hard not to be affected by everything, really. I would always say that I was affected by all the bands that start with B. So Bad Brains, The Beatles, Black Sabbath, Bob Marley, those are all good influences.
All right, cool. Well, all right. Now, I know you've always been, of course, very involved with the local music scene, whether it's early in the career with Shaq, or playing Armadillos or other spots around Annapolis with the Jar Flies, and now you host a Jar Mic Night at the Metropolitan Kitchen and Lounge.
Yep.
Well, first of all, you want to tell us a little something about encourage the kiddies to come on down to Annapolis? And
yeah, we've been doing it for like a year and a half, maybe 2 years now, and it's usually got a good crowd. Definitely have great musicians who come out. I mean, there's been some amazing people that come out. And, there's people that come in kind of tourists. They come into Annapolis and happen into the bar for the night, and they're like, "Holy crap, these people! Where did all these people come from? It's such good music." And I was like, "Yes, they're from here." And so, it's a cool local showcase. I mean, there's people that come in and play for the first time they've ever played in front of people, and then there's people that tour all over the country, and they'll pop in and play a couple songs. So it's a wide range of stuff. And you can drink a half-price bottle of wine.
Oh, hey, we always like drink specials. Yeah. Do you ever get up there? I know you do plenty of solo stuff. Do you ever do your solo stuff at a Jar Mic Night?
Yeah, I start the night out, so I'll just play like, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes, and then just kind of let everybody have the rest of the night. And if it's slow, I'll pop up later. But
Cool.
typically, I'm sick of me, so I stick here and other people play.
Hey, well, we're not sick of you. I'm going to play Jimmy's Chicken Shack pretty much all throughout the hour today.
I'm sure there's somebody out there listening that's like, hey, I'm sick of him too.
Well, if you are that somebody, come on down to a Jar Mike night and see if you can do better.
See if I can win you over.
Yeah. Well, speaking of all of the local stuff that you do you have a few local favorite venues that you always like to hit up?
Well, I definitely love playing at Metropolitan and going to see shows there. I think in Annapolis, it's just a cool venue. They got a great sound system. It's a cool room to play. My friends own the business, which is, it's always cool to patronize, businesses that, your friends own. And
Yeah.
Red Wine Bar will have cool bands play, like Pressing Strings will play at the Red Wine Bar. And
Cool.
that's another cool. You're just kind of playing on the floor in that room, but it's a great, it's good food and just a cool place to hang out. When I get out, I don't get out much necessarily, but if I go somewhere, I'm usually going to see a show at Metropolitan.
All right, cool. Yeah, I've always been a big fan of the local music scene, and I love the fact that we've got venues that, house both national acts and, local startup guys.
Yeah, another good spot actually is 49 West. They have some amazing. They'll get like world-class jazz musicians coming through there during the week, but they have really cool acoustic shows there, and so that's a really, really awesome spot. And I've started a new magazine that comes out the day after Thanksgiving. We're doing a launch party there, day after Thanksgiving, and Pressing Strings is playing, Kaylee Baker's playing, and Van Meter are playing in the back room. So it should be pretty cool.
Cool. 49 West, and that's also in Annapolis?
Yeah, that's on West Street, the first block of West Street off of Church Circle.
Awesome. Right in the heart of downtown there.
Yep.
All right, cool. Now, you guys did a video. You guys did several videos. And the one you did for Do Right, you brought everybody back locally, and you mentioned that Shay, your former bassist, has fallen off of every stage that you've ever played on. Other than watching him fall, what are some of your fondest memories from live performances?
There's too many to name, really. We just had a blast playing. There was a serious energy back, when we first started out in the early '90s, playing basements and playing, little dives and just playing the 8x10 all the time. And there's a time in the 8x10 where it was so hot in there that the sweat was condensating on the ceiling, and it was raining sweat on top of everybody. It was disgusting. And there used to be this trough to catch beer bottles from the balcony, and people would jump off the balcony under the crowd, and then at some point somebody jumped off the balcony, was hanging off the beer trough, and the whole thing came down on top of the crowd. That's like 15 feet long. And
yeah, that's a pretty good fall.
Yeah, just nothing. It didn't even stop though. Everybody's still jumping around, going nuts, and as they're going nuts, they're just passing the beer truck out the front door of the 8x10 over top of everybody's head, and they just threw it out in the middle of the street. And it was just epic Baltimore energy, and it was awesome. So, there's just so many. We have had fun pretty much every place.
Jimmy's Chicken Shack plus Fells Point always equals a wild time.
We always have fun. Even at a tape show, it's always fun. At least I'm having fun with it. So, sometimes we're more stupid than others, but you can always guarantee there's some amount of stupidity going to happen. Hey,
man, that's why we do it. Is that you have fun and the crowd has fun. Everybody has a blast. All right, now I'm gonna spring a little surprise on you. Every show, I like to do a bottom of the hour bifecta. I play two songs that have some connection to each other. And so, as my special guest, the bottom of the hour bifecta would come from your mind. So, Mr. Jimi Haha of Jimmy's Chicken Shack, any two songs. Keep in mind, I usually like to go with a 90s rock theme. What would you like to hear?
Wow, all right. Well, you stick me on the spot here. Let me think. What would I like to hear from the 90s?
It doesn't necessarily have to be from the 90s, but my record library is at your control.
I think I've got something. So, there'll be bands that we took on tour. How about that?
Okay, cool.
And we'll line up. So, well, maybe they'll just do 2 songs from the same band because they're phenomenal.
Okay.
So, have you heard of the band Self?
Self?
Self.
I don't think so. Where are they from?
They're from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And the guy who is Self, his name is Matt Mahaffey. And been on tour with Beck, playing with Beck before, but he's a producer. He's a engineer. He's a musician that plays every instrument. When he was 19 years old, he made a record called Subliminal Plastic Motives. And there's a song on there called Marathon Shirt. So now I'm putting you to the test. You've got to find this song. It's Self off of Subliminal Plastic Motives. The song is Marathon Shirt. And it's about that shirt that you kept for years and years. And that, it's just totally beaten up and just you should have thrown it away years ago. But it's like this special, relationship you had with this shirt. And it's just brilliant. The music's brilliant. The lyrics brilliant. He is brilliant. He was 19 when he made this record, and he played every instrument on it. When I met him, I said I was going to have to kill him because he was just too good. So, that song. And then you have to play off of another Self record, the song it's off of a record called Gizmogery, and the whole record has been made with toy instruments. And when we took them out on tour with us, they were collecting toy instruments the whole time.
Huh.
Tour, and then they end up making this record. But you're going to play a song that they didn't write. It's a cover song by the Doobie Brothers called What a Fool Believes, and it is just perfectly amazing. It's played on classical instruments, all of it. So it's
all right. I like that. Putting me to the test. All right. I'll find Self, the band, and the songs are Marathon Shirt and What a Fool Believes. All right, let's see what we got.
Awesome! I turned the tables on you.
Yeah, you did. Threw me for a loop. Okay. All right. Well then I'll.
And they just put out a new EP, so it's kind of cool. I've always loved the band, and it's really neat to see somebody who's done had such a cool career, but hardly anybody knows it. He's got songs in Shrek and all these cool movies that you've seen, and you've heard his songs, but you wouldn't even know it. The one funny thing is he wrote probably the best, shortest jingle in the world. He's the guy who wrote Expedia.com.
Really?
Yeah, so it's classic anyway.
Okay.
A little bit of trivia about himself.
Yeah, all right. Well, let's see. Here we are on iTunes. I got What a Fool Believes, and still looking for Marathon Shirt.
You can find it on iTunes. I might have stumped you. His first record was on Sponge Bath, the Sponge Bath label, which is out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee, or Nashville, and so Marathon Shirt is on there.
Okay, yeah, you might have stumped me.
You're gonna have to go on the hunt.
All right. Well, I'm sure I'll find it. But we'll start off with What a Fool Believes. A lot of people don't know this about you, but in addition to being a very talented musician, you're also a very talented artist. I saw the work that you did of Lincoln that was made entirely out of pennies. It was what, about $70 worth of pennies, something like that?
Yeah, somewhere around 7,000 pennies, something like that.
So where do you get the ideas for your art?
Well, I mean, with that one, it was just I thought somebody had done a floor with pennies instead of tiles because it was cheaper, and it looked really cool. And I was just I felt like they missed something there. If they would have taken their time and really planned it out, they could have. It didn't look amazing, but they could have made something even cooler. And I was like, well, it'd be cool to use them as pixels, the natural oxidation of the pennies.
Yeah.
Use them as pixels, and then you have this piece of artwork that millions of people had a part in. So every single person that touched every one of those 7,000 pennies, the oldest one being from 1929, I figured there's millions and millions of people that had something to do with that piece of artwork inadvertently. They have died of it, but it wouldn't. If it weren't for every single person touching each one of those pennies at a different amount of times, they wouldn't be that specific color, and it wouldn't be in the specific place that it is. And it ended up being a fun kind of a idea. We also did Johnny Cash. It's me and my friend Jeff Huntington who did those, and we art under the name Jimi Haha, and then we did Johnny Cash with pennies as well.
Cool. Yeah, that's awesome. And like you said, millions of people help contribute to your artwork, and you put it together, and it looks wild. I'll post a picture of that up on the website so everybody can see what we're talking about.
Cool.
Do you have anything new that you're working on?
I've been working on this thing. Jeff and I did a thing of Jimi Hendrix, and it was all like guitar pick shapes, I'm sorry, cut out of art auction catalogs. So it's like all these pieces of masterpieces, like, chopped up into little guitar pick shapes, and then we made a, big piece of Elvis. It's like 4 by 4 feet.
Nice.
Anyway, I've been kind of doing one of Elvis instead of, like doing one on my own that's like 2 by 4 feet. And I've been working on that recently.
Cool. Now, is there anywhere that the public can see or even buy your art?
Well, there's 2 websites. So there's Jaha, which is Jaha.com, which is JAH-HAHA.com, and there's also JimiHaha.com, which is JIMIHAHA.com. And then I think there's a way to contact through that. And, like the Jaha stuff, we've done like silk screen prints, like limited edition silk screen prints. We've done a bunch of paintings, did some mural work.
Cool.
And then my page is just kind of a bunch of silly paintings and junk.
All right, cool. So
maybe just get it up there, some bad poetry and awesome stuff.
Yeah. Jahaha.com and JimiHaha.com. Again, I'll post those links online, so you can find it there. And you're artist of many talents, both music and visually.
I just have no shame. That's the only key ingredient is the lack of shame.
Hey, that's apparently it works for you, man. Doesn't work for me. The only thing I get is a few slaps from the ladies here on campus, and that's about it.
You win.
Yeah. All right, now I have to admit I was a little late to the party. I listen to HFS and 101 all the time. It's what I grew up on. And I heard this great band. I heard High, and I heard Trash, and I heard Do Right. And I picked up Bring Your Own Stereo, and I picked up Pushing the Salmonella Envelope. And I noticed on the cover of Bring Your Own Stereo that the license plate, it's the same. It's Maryland tags, just like I have on my car. And I realized, holy shit, this band is from Maryland. And like I said, I was late. I completely oblivious, but it really gave me and I know it gave a lot of other musicians locally the inspiration to know that we could make it in the music industry. So from all the other local musicians, we're all wondering, what are some of the hurdles that you had to clear to make it big coming from this area?
I don't know. I think it's the same anywhere you are. People are like, well, you can move to LA or New York and it's easier. I think it's probably harder to go to a place where there's so many people pushing for one thing. Here, I was in a band in the 80s called 10 Times Big, and we almost got signed, but, there was a lot of people playing original music. Most things were cover bands, and you couldn't hardly get gigs unless you were a cover band, unless you were playing in, a really sketchy part of Baltimore, D.C. Mm-hmm. So that's what we did, and we just played original music, and we just played gigs and didn't make any money, and had a blast, and got to be exposed to all these amazing bands from D.C. and Baltimore that helped shape who we became musically, and who all of us became, even when we broke up in that band. And then, at the point when we started Chicken Shack, I was figured, well, we should make it just seem like we're already successful. Let's just start a label. So, and Ian Mackay, I wanted to be on Discord Records, but we really didn't fit into that sound anyway. And I read an article, and Ian Mackay was like, look, if you're not my friend and you're not from DC, make your own label up. I'm not going to release your stuff. So I was like, all right, that sounds like a fair enough plan. So then I made up Foul Records, and
Foul Records was born.
We just started putting out really bad recordings, basically, of fairly cool songs, I guess.
Cool,
and, and another thing was, we had Nirvana Bleach had come out, and they recorded that for $600, and it sounded like garbage. It's like just totally bad recording quality, but the songs were brilliant. So it was like, well, why are we being so worried about making sure that everything's perfect? Let's just send our farts out into the air and see if anybody smells them. So
Yeah.
kind of, started on a record label and played a bunch of shows. And I don't know. I mean, I think the hurdles are the same for everybody. Where do you get gigs? How do you get people out to your shows? And how do you get anybody to care? How do you stick in people's mind? How do you keep your band together? How do you not lose your mind every minute of the day? That's it's all the same stuff.
Well, that's all stuff I've been working on as far as how do you pay for gear and all that other good stuff, and good luck sending my farts out in the air and hoping that somebody smells them. Or I guess in my case, hoping that nobody does.
I borrowed gear for a while. I didn't have an amp. Our bass player didn't have an amp. I don't even think he had a bass for a while. And we just borrow stuff from people. So I think you've always figured if you're driven enough, you figure out a way to make it work. And if you're crazy enough, you accept all the crap that you have to eat to get where you're going. So I decided a long time ago that I'd have to learn to really enjoy the taste of shit.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be eating a lot of it. So I just decided, all right, well, here we go,
Might as well enjoy it.
Yep.
All right, cool. All right, now I've got one last question. Maybe a little difficult. What's your personal favorite of all the songs you've written, whether it's from The Shack or Jarflies or a solo? Do you have one that sticks with you?
I think it's probably Slow Change. It was on an EP that came out after Bring Your Own Stereo. And the reason, it's a fairly long song.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, Brandon from Incubus plays djembe on it.
Oh, cool. Brandon Boyd.
Yeah, but the cool thing, I think the song is just, it really speaks about how I feel about life, and it's kind of, it speaks about how I feel about things, and I wanted to call the record Slow Change. Instead of calling it Bring Your Own Stereo, the record was going to be called Slow Change, and that was going to be the album art for the EP, which is the painting I did, was going to be the cover. But as the record was being made, the record kind of took on its own life, and it really wasn't as serious as that song was. And once we recorded all these songs, it just didn't fit with the feel of the whole record. The record kind of went everywhere, and it was really random and fun, and half of it was silly, half of it was serious, and so it just became something that was Bring Your Own Stereo. And then the label, I wanted this music to get out there somehow, so I convinced the label to let me do an EP, even if it didn't make any money or wasn't, it was just a promotional thing. I just wanted to give it away and get it out there. So I think that's my favorite song out of all the Chicken Shack stuff, at least.
All right, cool. As you say that, I'm going online looking to see if I can find it. I don't know. I'll see what I can dig up.
I stumped you again?
Yeah, that's 2 for 2, man. All right, I got to pick up my game. All right, well, Jimi Haha from Jimmy's Chicken Shack, the Jarflies. You can catch him December 2nd. That's a Tuesday night at Baltimore Soundstage. Yeah, and I'll be there, of course. My special guest, Jimi Haha, he'll be there. Art Alexakis will be there from Everclear. And come on out and enjoy a night of fun.
Please, do it. It will be fun.
Yeah, all right.